What is up, everybody? Man, this Tony Cotillo at the Heat Ratio. I'll tell you, let me just say that I had to take a day, people. I had to take a day. It was, there was just too much going on. There was just too much going on. I couldn't come right out and give my feelings because I had to kind of take them all in, and I had to figure out exactly the way I was feeling. And I finally have come to grips with exactly the way I feel. And I don't know if it's going to be on par with everybody else. Obviously, that's what makes our opinion so great, right? What's up, Trevor? Always checking in, as always, my man. Upper Bowl podcast, we had a good time right this Sunday, which was fantastic. We had a really good showing. And again, that was my first instincts, right? My first instincts of the way I felt, and they really haven't changed that much. I'm gonna be honest with you. I listen. I mean, as I share this stream, and I think I just wish I didn't have to feel this way. I do. I wish I didn't have to feel this way because it sucks. It absolutely sucks, and I'm ready. Listen, I am ready. I'm telling you right now, I'm ready to move on. I am for right now, so we can figure out exactly what is going on. And right now, I think the only hope for the Philadelphia Eagles is to try and fix this. And trying to fix this may mean to get somebody else on board. And again, I ask this question: can the Eagles season be saved? I do. I just think that right now you're seeing, and Trevor Jackson absolutely upper body got the exclusive. And listen, you got me straight emotional, Trevor. You were right. I mean, listen, you reached out to me right away, and right off the bat, I mean, we were smoking. Again, we were. The gun was smoking. It couldn't be put out. The fire was there. It was like a 13 alarmer. It really was. Can you imagine if we had fans in that stadium? Listen, there's so many things to talk about. There is. And as everybody checks in, I just want to know what your thoughts are right now. I want to know what you're thinking. I do. Andre, what's up, buddy? Checking in. My man, Andre, listen, you're going to have to join us tonight. If you can, 9:15, we go live, Heat Ratios podcast. We're going to be talking Eagles and Sixers. I know you like that basketball talk, so we have to bring it. We're going to talk a little Doc Rivers. We're going to talk about what's going on. So we may need a few A-bombs for the show. So please check in tonight. But getting back to the Eagles. And again, listen, I was very upfront, and I told everybody I did not feel good about going into this game. I said I thought that the Eagles were just lost. I thought that this was a Cincinnati team that was very, very poised to win. And again, a tie is a loss, people. A tie is a loss. It is. Trevor Jackson, I'm done with Carson Wentz. A lot of people are done with Carson Wentz, Trevor. A lot. Eric, what's up, buddy? Checking in as always. I appreciate it. I did start, just for the record, I did start Joe Burrow in my fantasy league because I thought that he would be the better quarterback, and he was. Joe Burrow played like the better quarterback. 0-2-1 is 0-3 to us, the fan. Andre, 100%. I keep telling everybody, a tie means nothing to me. And here's the thing. I am done with the let's just get into the playoffs in a bad division. Let's just be that last seed. Let's get the wild card. I'm done with that because that's not doing anything for us. It's not. If you think about it, that is doing absolutely nothing for us, okay? Because at the end of the day, we have to grow and we have to make changes based on what the way we played the previous season. And just getting to the playoffs to lose in the first round does us no justice. It does us zero justice, and it's not helping for the future. I keep saying that. It's not helping for the future. Listen, this is Trevor Jackson. Can they go 3-12-1? This is no more than a 5-win team right now. I'm telling you that right now. I am not ashamed to say it. This is no more than a 5-win team, and it hurts. It does because, and no pun intended, because we're gonna get to the Jalen Hurts. Trevor already checking in. I need some Jalen Hurts action behind center. I'll tell you, Andre checking in. It was tough watching KC last night, knowing what our team looks like. You're 100% spot on because I'm watching that game and I'm looking at Patrick Mahomes, and I get it. Carson Wentz is a Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Maybe 1A, 1B, him and Russell Wilson, but we can get in that argument another day. All I can say is with Carson Wentz looking like he does, and then watching the product we've seen in Kansas City last night, man, I'll tell you, it is really, really tough to swallow. It is a tough pill to swallow. It really is. I've been trying. And that's the thing. I've been trying for the last 2 days to swallow this, and I can't. I just can't. Because I was one of the biggest Carson advocates. Biggest advocates. I was all in on Carson. And I know my man Lou's probably at the gym working out right now, and he's not on this stream, but he's been telling me for 2 weeks, Tony, Carson's not it. Carson's not it, right? He keeps saying that. Well, guess what? I actually believe him. Carson is not it. Right now, he's not it. And here's the thing. This has nothing to do with Carson. People got to stop. Just because I say I want to see what Hurts can do doesn't mean that I hate Carson. Doesn't mean that I'm out on Carson. It's I want to win a game. Listen, this was a game that you had to win, right? You had to win this game. The game's coming up when you think about it. San Francisco, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Tell me right now. Tell me who even remotely feels like any one of those games is a win. Maybe Nick Mullins doesn't do what he did against the Giants, and we can eke out a victory in San Francisco. We're not beating Pittsburgh. We're not beating Baltimore. Not with the way this team is constructed. This is absolutely ridiculous. So you have to save the season, man. You have to save it somehow, some way. And if that means putting Jalen Hurts in there until Carson gets right, maybe that's what you do. But I got to tell you again, I said it last week. I'll say it again. If Jalen Hurts starts, Carson Wentz will never get his job back, man. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen because knowing the way Doug will call the game based on the way Jalen Hurts plays, I'll tell you, man, I have a feeling that he'll never get that job back. I mean, listen, you've seen what happened. It couldn't happen worse. And I'm not a Nick Foles guy. Again, I'm not a Foles guy. And you guys know that who follow me. You know I am not a Foles guy. I have advocated for Carson Wentz 100 times over. But to see Nick Foles do what he did in Chicago, it hurts. It hurts because it couldn't happen at the worst possible time. The throw to Miles Sanders, way off. Should have been a touchdown. Carson, you missed it again. And it was bad. It was really, really bad. This team cannot get together right now. Andre checks in, the season may not be saved, but the division can. Yo, you're right, Andre, and you're absolutely right. This division absolutely sucks. It does. You could be looking at, I don't know what year it was, maybe 2013 or 14 when, Seattle made it at 7-9 and you could, out there in the NFC West, you could see the same scenario play out in the NFC East because nobody is really, that prestigious over another. So I could see, but I don't want to win that way. I don't want to get in that way because that does nothing for us. We already know what we have. We already know our what we lack. We already know our capabilities, and we're not going to go any farther, right? We're not. So let's just do what we need to do and get what we need. Mike checks in. He can't throw to the left. He needs to fix that. All of his overthrows and missed passes are to the left. You can't have a quarterback can only throw to one side of the field. And Mike, I don't know where that's come from. Like, I have no idea because he looked like such a different quarterback a couple years ago. I don't know if it's all the injuries. I don't know if it's the coaching staff changing the way he plays. I don't know. I don't want to keep pointing to Frank Reich and DiFilippo. I don't want to keep going down that route because it gets old. It gets stagnant, even though it does have some credence to it. I get sick of talking about it. Two teams just shut down because of COVID. They did. Mike, check it out. Breaking news. Let me know who that is. Right now, I don't have my stream up. Andre, maybe we win the battle of PA only because the quarterback isn't mobile at all. We are about to go 1-3 in the next 4 games, and that is one of my biggest issues. Yeah, maybe Big Ben doesn't do it, but I'll tell you what, seeing that the way that team has played on defense in Pittsburgh, I'll tell you, I have nightmares thinking about that team going up against Carson Wentz. So I don't even know if that's possible, right? I don't even know if that's possible. Schwartz needs to be fired. Promote Manuel. Wow. I tell you, Schwartz, here's the thing, buddy. I appreciate the comment. And I understand it. And one of my counterparts in Coach Dave, who you can hear live tonight, 9:15 on the Heat Ratio podcast, is a huge opponent of Mr. Jim Schwartz, hates Jim Schwartz. So he would be on you right off the bat. He would be right on your tail and say, absolutely. For me, I can't pin this on Schwartz because Schwartz actually, if you look at that game, he gave that team every opportunity to win, especially in the overtime. He changed some things, he adjusted, and the offense just didn't take it over. They just didn't take over. So I don't put this also on Schwartz. Now, do I think that he has listen, he definitely has tendencies that we don't all agree with. He definitely has, some things that he needs to change. And he definitely has to take some kind of ownership in giving up the amount of points that we gave up in the first 2 weeks. But what I can say is this game specifically, I actually tipped my hat to Jim Schwartz in the overtime because it was the only reason why we were in that game. It was, at 23-23, the only reason why we had a chance to win was because of Jim Schwartz's defensive scheme. So I will give him that, and I'm sure me and Coach Dave will argue on that tonight. Andre checking in, Washington is who they are, and their big win was against us. Dallas will shoot themselves in the foot, and the Giants are terrible. You're right. You're absolutely right. All those things are right, man. I mean, at the end of the day, this division is wide open, and I get it, which is, again, why I still think you need to start thinking about pulling a plug on Carson Wentz, which we'll talk about tonight, and inserting Jalen Hurts to see what can happen. I really do. Mike checks in. Listen, this is going to be the M-bomb. We have the A-bomb and Andre for basketball. Maybe we got the M-bomb or the V-bomb. In Mike checking in, Mike Valerio checking in, saying that the Titans and Vikings have been shut down until Friday due to COVID concerns. That's interesting. I did not read that. I've been busy all morning. You guys know I run a PR company as well, so I've been working with some network producers, booking some interviews. So I really didn't have a chance to look at the headline stories. But I'll tell you what, that's news to me. That's great. I appreciate you bringing that up, Mike. Can you tell me if you're still listening? Did somebody test positive, or is it what is it, a player, is it a staff member, or like what's the details of that? So let us know so we can elaborate on that. Andre, I'm predicting Sanders and Clement finally go off on Pittsburgh. KC showed us the blueprint against a good defense. I know we don't have Mahomes. Listen, you're right. You're right. Here's the thing. I got worried because Miles Sanders was balling, man. Miles Sanders was absolutely balling, and he was averaging 7.3 yards per carry in the first quarter, and you go away from the run. You completely abandon it, and you're handing the ball off to Boston Scott down the stretch. I'll tell you, that I don't know what frustrated me more. Honestly, the play calling or handing the ball off to Boston Scott, where Miles Sanders is the guy. Miles Sanders is the guy. He is the guy that needs to rock. He was on the radio yesterday saying, listen, just feed me the ball. 18's not enough. He needs 23 to 25. He can be that bell cow back. He absolutely can be. So that is something that they need to really look at, because Corey Clement wasn't doing it. Boston Scott wasn't doing it. If you're going to give it to Clement, that's fine. Boston Scott cannot handle the rock against a good defense. He's going to get exposed. He really is. Mike checking in. Wow. Confirm. We got three Eric checking in too. Mike and Eric both checking in. I appreciate this, boys. 3 players on Tennessee and 5 staff members. Also reports that some Vikings players tested positive. Wow. That is interesting. Mike checks in. Vikings is precaution since they just played the Titans. Tennessee, 3 players and 5 personnel. Listen, this is a lot, boys. This is a lot. This is breaking news, man. I love this. This is breaking news. Wow. I don't even know what to say because this is going to have a domino effect, boys. This is going to have a domino effect. There's my man, Lou. Lou is checking in. Lou, I just mentioned you earlier, Lou. I said you were probably at Planet Fitness hitting that elliptical and running around the track, man. I just hit you. I said you were the guy telling me about Carson Wentz, man. You were telling me about Carson Wentz, and I was the advocate. And now I'm on your side, Lou. I've seen enough. Lou, you got me going, man. I've seen enough. I've had enough right now. Until this man can get fixed, I had enough. Lou, you've talked me into it, man. You've talked me into it. Mike, always breaking no. Listen, Mike, I'll tell you, man. Listen, and I'm going to get sentimental here for a minute. Mike been with me for like 3 years. You know, the PI Live, always an avid contributor, hooking me up. And now that I don't do that much for, PI, and I'm mainly focused on Heat Ratio Sports and on the Gambler brand, and I got some really new things and exciting announcements coming up, which will be pretty cool. Mike, you always been there, brother. I appreciate it. You are the man. Andre as well. Andre, Trevor, man, honestly, you guys are the best. They sent everyone home and closed their facilities. This is bad. This is absolutely bad. Boston Scots have Boston Scott have a fans only tape on Doug. I love it. I love it. The reason why. Listen, man, I don't want to see that tape, Andre. If he has that tape, please, if there is a God, keep that hidden. We do not want that leaked out because I want nothing to do with that. Lou texts in, how do we get rid of Howie? I think we need to bring Chip back, Lou. Get rid of Howie. Howie's got a lot of people fooled, man. I'll tell you what, though, Lou, if Howie can just be the money guy, I'm in with that. I will take that. Listen, let Howie continue to count coin, right? Let him continue to count coin. That's fine. Do contracts. I'm good with that. Do not talent evaluate because he cannot do it. That's the only thing he can do well. So I'm with that. If he can stay around for that perspective, I'm good. But besides that, I'm out. Yeah, he definitely has no idea to draft. I'd rather watch the Bears with Nick Foles than Carson Wentz. Trevor's a Bears guy, man. He loves him some Nick Foles. He loves him Chicago. But right now, I bet you that game was more interesting than what we watched against Cincinnati. So my buddy Nick, what's up, Nick? Checking in. Football is in trouble. Yes, football is in trouble. Nick, I'm telling you, I'm kind of blown away if you hear it in my voice because I did not see this, and luckily I got all my boys in here on the Heat Ratio checking in and letting me know what's up because this is breaking news, man. This is not good. This is definitely not good because we have to figure out, listen, it's only Tuesday. This is a huge topic, and listen, more are going to fall, more things to fall here, 100%. It more will come out and we will get to see what happened. But this is concerning, especially when you talk about, we're talking about arenas just starting to open back up a little bit and letting people in. So really, really crazy. Lou checks in. They shut the facility down until Saturday. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Lou, it's going to be interesting, man. I'm not having a good feeling about this. I'm not having a good feeling. I want football on Sunday. Just saying, I want football on Sunday. Please, to the gods, help us out. Thanks, bro. Get behind great content. I just don't support anyone. Mike, I appreciate that, dude. Seriously. I don't stop, man. You know that. I don't stop, and I'm trying to build bigger and better things here and getting everybody as much as I can get behind me. I got a couple sponsors lined up. I don't want to sprinkle this entire thing with commercials or things of that nature, but listen, I also want to be rewarded for some of the work I do. So when people want to work together, that's great. So I will add them to the forefront here, but it won't be crazy. I will continue to bring the heat, like Mike likes to say. I can guarantee you that. Trevor, and I had the Bears money line before Foles got in. Excellent. Good for you, man. Good for you. Lou, nope, me too. I'm with you, Lou. I do not have a good feeling right now. My stomach's a little queasy, brother. It's a little queasy. I'm not liking this at all. Eric checks in. If football continues, how do we trade Blake Bortles? I mean, I mean, Carson Wentz and get some type of value back. I'll keep saying Carson reminds me of Blake Bortles. And you know what, Eric? You've been saying that for the last 2 weeks. And the more and more we watch Carson play, the more and more you may be right, my man. Seriously. Blake Bortles looked so good, and then he just looked so bad, and he never regained that form once again. There's a big mental disease out there that a lot of people get stricken with, and sometimes people cannot come back from that mental aspect. And this is 100% mental. No doubt in my mind that Carson has the ability, but if he cannot knock it, we are in trouble. This is the news that will shut down the season and make it a 12-game season. Now this 0-2-1 start is even more horrible. Oh, man, please, Andre, don't tell me. Don't tell me. I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to hear it, but I'll tell you, I would not be shocked if it comes out that this week will be canceled in the NFL. I will not be shocked. I will not be shocked, man. I won't be. Lou checks in. Carson looks lost. T, no confidence any longer. You're right. Lou, he looks completely lost. I mean, if you look at the tape, there's certain plays that I watched. And number one, you see how off he was with that throw to Miles Sanders. And then he looked so good to the throw to Zach Ertz. But then in the first quarter, he had J.J. Arcega-Whiteside for one time was actually open, and he completely missed him. And he didn't even, for the simple fact that he didn't throw the ball. So he either missed seeing him or he was gun shy in order to throw the ball. He can't play quarterback like that. And unfortunately, right now, that's the way he's playing. And I don't see any end in sight. I really don't. I really, really don't. I just hope that this can get fixed. But here's the thing. We cannot continue to watch it be able to get fixed on the field. Fix it on the sidelines. Fix it in the bubble. Give me somebody who doesn't have a mental issue right now, who doesn't have a blockage and can play. Let's just throw Jalen Hurts in there and see what he can do. Even if it's for a week, even for 2 weeks, even though I still think, again, if he gets in there and he produces, I don't think Carson will get that job back. So it's going to be interesting. Send Carson to Indy. They need a quarterback after Rivers this year. There will definitely be suitors out there for Carson Wentz if they go down that road. Let's just say that if they go down that road. Andre checks in. You were dead on Buffalo so far. Listen, Andre, I told you about the Bulls, man. About the Bills. I'm glad you said that. I mean, I don't like to pat myself on the back. And again, listen, man, it's only 3 games, but I'll tell you, Josh Allen, he put a lot of skeptics to rest, didn't he? A lot of them, because he went out there and in that game, and he took them down and he won that game. It went when it looked like it was lost. It did. And they have a tremendous defense in Buffalo. I really like what McDermott's doing, and Josh Allen is growing in front of our very eyes. And here's the thing I keep saying. Josh Allen is getting better on the field, which is crazy. Week in and week out, his throws are getting better. The offense is getting better while they're winning. How important is that? So Buffalo, man, I still say AFC Championship game, man. Get those bets in. I'm telling you. Don't say that. I'll jump first place for fantasy football. Yeah, you don't want that season to get cut short, Trevor. That Ertz pass over the shoulder is what we are used to seeing. Absolutely. That's what he did in 2017. That was, listen, Mike, 100% correct. That was the throw we're used to. Everything else is trash. He's even starting to get like McNabb with that short game that he can't even connect on now. So, I mean, and he's going to start getting players killed in the middle of the field. He really has to be careful with some of his throws, and he's not recognizing the coverage. I mean, he's throwing into double, triple coverage. He never used to do that. Lou checks in. I told you Sunday I backed him for 4 years. No more, buddy. Yeah, Lou, I'm with you, man. I'm with you, Lou. I'm finally on the Lou side. Lou, I'm telling you, and I know we do the show tonight. Everybody, listen, if you could tune in tonight, check it out, 9:15. We will go live on the Heat Ratio, episode 129. We have some special guests coming tonight, and it'll be interesting. It is. We have a new voice coming on to the show. That he will be heard periodically. He's been heard on there before, but he will be tonight. And he's going to sound off about the Eagles. So, I'm trying to get some quotes from Marcus Hayes. I talked to Marcus today about his article. I don't know if you guys have read it, but his article was tremendous. Came out with some certain things about Jason Peters being tired and Carson Wentz not understanding the entire playbook, which is very, very concerning. So I'm trying to get Marcus on the line like I have before, asking to give me some quotes so we can add to the show. So going to be a really fun show tonight, 9:15. Please check it out. As many eyes and comments as possible. Always help us with the show flow. It is tremendous. So, get your questions out, think about it, and join us tonight, 9:15. But get back. John, I go back a few shows ago. There's no legit leader on offense or defense. Malcolm Jenkins' situation had a major effect on the team. I 100% agree, Andre. Even though he did get exposed a little bit in week 2, he came back with a vengeance against Green Bay. I mean, if you watched him play against Green Bay, there was a play, and Andre, I know you've seen this because you're watching the game just like me, when Aaron Jones, who has basically been one of the most electric running backs behind Dalvin Cook in the NFL early on. He came out of the backfield, ran an up and go, and Malcolm Jenkins stayed with him step by step, and he made that play irrelevant. And not many people can do that. Nobody can do that on our team. But that just shows how good Malcolm Jenkins still is and what he has left. So, listen, for that 2-year guarantee, he could have still been here, man. He could have still been here. I put that hit on the guy. I put that hit on the guy in Green. Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, his Green Bay game was tremendous. It made me cry, man. It really did. What's up, Brian? Checking in. Old friend of mine, my man Carson has to go. He was mentally done with his back when his backup won the Super Bowl. Had to come back from that. He is a dime a dozen talent. Listen. These are the comments, Brian, where before, and Lou knows this, I would go back at and be like, this is ridiculous, 100% on Carson. But again, I can't right now because you're right. Brian, you're right. I really can't have a comeback with that statement anymore because mentally he cannot come back. He is a mental midget right now. He really is. There's nothing that can be done to help this guy along physically. This is all mentally. He has it, but he can't translate that onto the field. So that's one of the biggest problems. It really is. It's one of the biggest problems. Unfortunately, it's just something, I know Doug said it's a knee-jerk reaction to bench him. This isn't a knee-jerk reaction. A knee-jerk reaction is watching, a knee-jerk reaction would have been last night, John Harbaugh benching Lamar Jackson. Okay, that would have been a knee-jerk reaction because we know how good Lamar Jackson is. We know how good MVP is, right? As the MVP last year, we know how good he was, right? So he has one bad game and you bench him. That's knee-jerk. But Carson has had multiple bad games. He's 15-16 in his last 31. That's not good. So this isn't a knee-jerk reaction. Benching him right now is the right thing to do. Trevor, did you see Foles' assistant advisor when he got in the game? He looked like, you know what, Trev? I'll be honest with you. When I seen him with that visor, I was like, wait a minute. What's going on with Nick? He's got the tinted visor. And the first thing I remember is thinking about good old Jimmy Mack. Because if you look at how he has the chest pads, like right here, kind of like McMahon used to sport back in the day because he was getting killed. But, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Absolutely. Andre says the O-line looks like they've been together for years. I know we're talking about Buffalo. Absolutely. Our O-line, by the way, I'll tell you, they really came up small this week. Really got came out small. He also blew him up. You're talking about Aaron Jones. Yes, he did. When they were on the goal line, he came up and he made a wicked tackle, man. I'm telling you, Malcolm Jenkins can still play. He is a baller, 100%. And the glove too, Jimmy Mack, bro. You're right, man. Absolutely, and the glove. I'll tell you, hey, it's Nick's job's a lose out there, man. It's Nick's job's a lose. So we'll see what Nick can do. We know what he can do, and I know he's not a guy that can start a whole season, but if he can come in relief and string together some wins, man, maybe Chicago's looking okay. They did lose Tariq Cohen with torn ACL, another torn ACL, which is really bad, which sucked. That's a shame. Trevor checking in, had a great game the weekend, going 9-4 and topped it off with a Packers +3. I actually had a really bad weekend, Trevor. My DFS league really hit the toilet. My lineup just did not. I picked the wrong guy. I went with the Arizona stack when I should have went with the Seattle stack. It was a Seattle stack or or a Kansas City stack or a Arizona stack, and I took the wrong one, man, which sucks. I took the wrong one, but it happens sometimes. It's all good. Lose second and Vikings shutting down too. It's not getting good. This isn't getting good. This will be this is going to be breaking news for the rest of the day. So everybody keep an eye on that. This is going to be something that we really, really have to look at. Let me go back up to these comments for a second because I know I missed one from Trevor, who asked about we talked about the Tin Advisor. Trevor asked about where I see the Eagles. Oh, here we go. Are the Eagles one of the top 10 worst teams? Ooh, that's an interesting one. I honestly think they are. The Eagles right now are one of the top 10 worst teams in football. They actually are probably like, Lou checks in right now, 3-13. 3-13, 4-12, 3-12-1, 4-11-1, whatever you want to call it. That's one of the 10 worst teams for sure. That's one of the 5 worst teams probably, which is definitely not how Jeffrey Lurie, when you're talking about all the money he spent on his team has been saying it. So that's another thing. Doug's coaching for his job right now, 100%. Andre, nobody's giving defensive coordinator in Kansas City credit for not waiting in the first quarter to switch up the plan on Baltimore after that first touchdown. He started to disguise it almost perfectly. Listen, again, and we all know who the defensive coordinator is, right? In Kansas City, Steve Spagnuolo. And again, Steve Spagnuolo, another one of those guys. Andre, we've talked about this because, we've talked about Ray Rhodes on this show, a ton of times. Romeo Crennel is another guy. Wade Phillips, another guy. These guys that are tremendous defensive coordinators, but not good enough to be a head coach. And that's exactly what Spagnuolo, he had his cup of coffee in New York, didn't work. Now he's back home where it belongs, disguising these defenses. And listen, he has been tremendous, especially with a defense that's dealing with a lot of injuries, especially with a defense that, listen, he has Frank Clark, Chris Jones up front, which are absolute beasts. But here's a defense trade away D Ford, had a lot of questions. Everybody said they still get Anthony Hitchens. He's still very, very good. Listen, the secondary needs some work. Okay, they get Breland back this week off of suspension. So he's been doing this with a lackluster, probably about 7 guys on defense, which has been amazing. And again, last night, tremendous game plan against Lamar Jackson. Tremendous. Trevor checking in, Trevor Lawrence. No, Mike checking in with Trevor Lawrence. Nah, man, I'm not ready with the Trevor Lawrence talk. I'll tell you that. St. Louis head coach Spags was, yeah, exactly. St. Louis. I said New York, right? New York, he was the defensive coordinator, then got the head coach gig in St. Louis, and now back to the head coach gig in Kansas City. If you think about it, remember how good Wade Phillips was as a defensive coordinator? You look at the offense. Remember Mike Martz? Mike Martz was a offensive genius, dude. People have taken my comments and kind of thrown them back at me sometimes when I've talked about that. But Mike Martz, I'll tell you what, he could talk about, McVay as a younger guy, Mike Martz as an old school guy, man, I'll tell you what, he was unbelievable. That's exactly what I meant. He doesn't have much talent, but the players were in the right position. I just want that here. Yeah, Andre, absolutely. When you looked at that game, to say that we could go out on a limb here and say we probably have just as much talent, as the Kansas City Chiefs right now on defense. Now, they have a better linebacking core. I'll give them that. I think we probably have, a better secondary as of now because you add Darius Slay into the mix. Their front 4 is better than ours, but still, they have the right people in the right position to make plays. Man, I just sound like Andy Reid. What the hell is wrong with me? Chiefs look amazing. Would not be surprised to go back-to-back. Mahomes makes it look easy. Reid's play calling and Spags running the D. They have a chance to do something special for a few years. And Brian, I dig that. I dig the hell out of that. I don't hate Andy Reid. A lot of people are like, oh, how can you cheer for Andy Reid? How can you not cheer for Andy Reid? What the hell did Andy Reid do that was wrong here? Andy Reid did everything he could. Listen, we didn't win. Okay, big deal. It sucks. Absolutely sucks. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs look spectacular. Patrick Mahomes has taken that torch from Tom Brady and showing that he is the number one guy to look after, the number one guy next to Russell Wilson at that quarterback position. That team, that's how you draft. Think about that. Think about that aspect, Bri, about the Chiefs. That's how you make trades, you draft. So they make a trade for Frank Clark. They draft Chris Jones. They draft Anthony Hitchens. They draft Breeland. They like everything they do. They draft Tyreek Hill. They draft McCall Hardman, right? They draft CEH. We can't even get any of our guys to produce that we drafted, and they have a whole team built by unbelievable draft picks. So again, and Mahomes being that number one guy, right? So you think about it. That's how you build a team. That's how you build a team. Trevor checking in. Mike Martz is the offensive coordinator. Who didn't dig Mike Martz, man? Lou checks in. So pumped when the season started. Now, yeah, I don't think you could be any more spot on, Lou. How pumped we were for the season to start. Everything we heard up. We're getting ready. Carson's healthy. Everything's flowing right. And again, what happens? Boom. It get thrown out right in our face, right? Getting thrown out right in our face. So unfortunately, it's just the way we are right now. It really sucks. That's right. Anthony Hitchens came from the Cowboys. You're right. They actually they traded away D Ford to San Francisco, and I think I forget to use the pick on, but they did get a pick from him. How he drafted Sidney Jones, who I did not want, Lou. Okay, I did not want Sidney Jones. I thought that was a terrible pick. Again, it just proved me wrong. It proved me right because he's not here and he's not playing anywhere. That is going to give him an opportunity to show any kind of greatness that we all thought he did have. So yeah, another wasted pick. That 2017 draft was horrendous. Absolutely. Andre Jackson, Mahomes' wife, just as talented on Twitter as Patrick on the field. She tweeted, keep rating him for it. Listen, she definitely doesn't keep her mouth shut, man, which I absolutely love. Absolutely love. Lou, it was a joke. I completely agree. Eric checking in. There's always next year. What do you think of Doc Rivers for the Sixers? All right, Eric, we got to keep that quiet right now because this stream will be over about 3 minutes. But what I will do, I'll give you a teaser because we're going to talk about that tonight. We got a whole show planned. We're talking we're going 4 for 4 as always. We'll start off with some Eagles. And then we're going to go right to the Sixers. And I hope Andre can join us tonight because I want Andre's input as well because he is the man when it comes to the heat ratio for our Sixers talk. So, and Eric as well, bring it, please. If you can tonight, 9:15, bring those comments because I want to talk about Doc Rivers. I want to get into it. I want to get into this Sixers coaching search. I want to get into what we think and where we're at right now. So I want to bring that heat tonight. So if you guys can, please join us tonight. Trevor checking in. Mahomes' girlfriend is the best thing about Twitter. Absolutely. She puts everybody to shame, man. She puts Kim Kardashian to shame, right? She puts them all to shame. Yeah, Andre, 9:15, bring it, baby. 100%. Bring that noise tonight because we're going to get into it with everybody. Like I said, I got we're going to have the whole team together, and I really want to get into some Sixer stuff. So, listen, we went 38 minutes again, guys. I really appreciate your comments. I really appreciate you joining the show. I literally had a ton of stuff to talk about, and you guys just took it away, which is great. The show is about you, not me, which is wonderful. I tell you guys all the time, your comments are what make this go smoothly. So again, check me out on Twitter at Heat Ratio Sports for the podcast and the show, at TCatil23 for all my stuff when I do fantasy for Fox Sports The Gambler, Philly Influencer. I'm all over, man. We're doing really good things. Check out tonight, Rodney McLeod's show live on Fox Sports The Gambler at 6 p.m. If you can, check it out. I'm sure it's going to be interesting to hear what Rodney has to say tonight. I'm curious. He usually doesn't mince words. So I'm trying to get down there at Chickies to join the show live, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But if not, listen to it live. It'll be a good show. But again, 9:15. Oh, here we go. Andre's teasing. Here's the teaser for Andre. Keep this in the back pocket. River's son was in King of Prussia this summer. I love it. Andre, bring that noise tonight. The good noise. This is bad noise. Bring that noise tonight. So we can go off of each other and figure out what the hell is going to go on with this Sixers team. Because right now, the Philly love for all the sports teams. It's a hurt piece right now. You got the Phillies who don't know what's going on with the general manager and JT, and then we got the Eagles in that mess, and now we got the Sixers in this mess. And yes, I'm rooting for Jimmy Butler. Damn it, Jimmy Butler. I hope he gets a ring, and I ain't ashamed to say it. I love me some Jimmy buckets, and he does everything the way I would want my guy to do on my team as a leader, and I want to see him win a ring. So again, at TCatillo23 at Heat Ratio Sports, give us a follow. Give me some comments. Listen, if you can't make the show tonight and you want to throw some mailbag questions at us, give it to us. We'll cover them tonight on the show. But anyway, 9:15. Be there, be in charge, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you tonight.